Well, this actor, producer, director has a long list of credits that have earned him multiple awards, including an Emmy and a Grammy. And this summer, he starred in the record-breaking horror film Longlegs, and now can be seen in the series Three Women.
Oh, and this Sunday, he's lending his voice to the documentary Clinton, Portrait of a Presidency, where he serves as executive producer.
Last night, and again this morning, I spoke with both Republicans and Democrats to congratulate those who won and console those who lost their elections. I also called the leaders of the next Congress, Senator Dole and Congressman Gingrich, to tell them after this hard-fought campaign that we are ready to work together to serve all the American people in a nonpartisan manner.
Mr. Gingrich will whisper in your right ear, and I will whisper in your left ear.
So please welcome to the show, Mr. Blair Underwood. Good morning to you, sir.
Well, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Great, great. I almost feel like I should say thank you for your service, because a lot of the work that you do brings to light some moments in history that would otherwise be forgotten. So thank you.
Oh, that's very kind of you. You know, you say that. My dad was a retired Army colonel. So when you say thank you for your service, I think of military service and all kinds of service.
Yeah. Well, former President Clinton, let's talk about this. He left office on January 20th of 2001 after serving 2 terms. And he's the subject of this upcoming documentary. So I'm curious to see why you made the decision to narrate this documentary and signing on also as executive producer.
Yeah, well, it's time. I mean, it's election season, of course. And, you know, I was approached by a friend of mine, David McKenzie, who was friends with the president of News Nation that is producing this, Sean Compton. And I was intrigued by it because I knew they had done a documentary on Ronald Reagan, same Portrait of a Presidency series, and now they're doing one on Clinton. And I thought it was fascinating to kind of go back in time and look at where we were in the political spectrum at that time and get a sense of really the differences were profound. I mean, watching Clinton in that sense of Clinton, but also the period of time, the sense of democracy, the sense of diplomacy. We were just in a different time. So I thought it was fascinating. And, you know, I'm a filmmaker and storyteller, and that's kind of what this is. It's really showing the highlight reel of his life, of his presidency, not his life, but his presidency, really, those 8 years.
So much of your work feels politically conscious, like Origin or When They See Us. So how does this doc sort of fit into what you've done so far?
You know, it's funny because sometimes I have, you know, I have an agenda or a message to send, and this one is really just, you know, just presenting the story, presenting his presidential history, and not really, you know, putting your hand on the scale in any way, shape, or form. But I found throughout the years, this is my, I think, 40th year in the business, sometimes you have something to say, and just because you're an actor, you're not excluded from that, but as a citizen, you have something to say. And this kind of just fit right in that lane for me.
So you've been a very busy guy. We can currently see you on the show Three Women. We had your co-star here on the show, DeWanda Wise. She had a lot of great things.
Did?
Yeah, she had a lot of great things to say about you, and she said she loved working with you. So what was it about this project, Three Women, that pulled your interest?
Oh, man. Well, you know, as you know, it's a story of 3 women at very pivotal points in their lives, and I thought it was fascinating. This production was run 90% by women, you know, a whole female dynamic and energy. That was fascinating and interesting in many different ways. And I liked the character. Their storyline was fascinating to me. You know, basically they're swingers. You know, polyamorous is the term nowadays, but I thought that was intriguing to explore. Not for me, but interesting to explore from an acting standpoint.
That's very clear. That's very clear.
You have the most insane breadth of work. When I think about how much I've watched you, I'm trying not to fangirl out and be super professional right now, but like Sex and the City, Quantico, you're in horror films, you're narrating. My goodness, you're even in my kid's cartoon, The Lion Guard. How do you fit it all in?
Listen, you do what you can. I think I'm a little ADD. Never knew that until I have many different interests, and that was the thing I really wanted to fight against when I got into this business almost 40 years ago, is to not be pigeonholed and to try to just break the barriers and kind of do what what you're capable of doing, and not because somebody says you can only be this type of actor or entertainer.
Well, I want to tell you that when my husband got a bloody nose one day, I offered him a tampon because of you, sir. Because of you.
You got to be kidding me. Did he say thank you very much?
I think he slapped it out of my hand and said no thank you.
No, he said thank you, Mr. Underwood, very
yes.
much. All right, thanks so much for your time this morning, and congrats on all the success that you've had so far.
Absolutely. Please watch the Clinton Portrait of a Presidency.
Sunday.
Sunday.
This Sunday, November 3rd at 8 p.m. as News Nation presents Clinton Portrait of a Presidency.